Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. My name is Ty, and today we are giving you our list of 10 tips for getting started in Cyberpunk 2077.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
With Cyberpunk 2077 finally out after being in development for what feels like ages, the time has come for us to take on Night City and the denizens within it. However, the scope of the game may have some players feeling a bit overwhelmed or lost. Allow us to give you a few pointers on how to make the most of your experience in CD Projekt's newest game. Got any other tips for us? Share with us in the comments below.
This has been your man, Stan! Join me for another day in our City of Dreams!
Disable the nonsense! It's no secret that Cyberpunk 2077 isn't exactly the most stable game to come out this year. It's playable, but there are some performance issues. One way to mitigate some of these issues is by disabling a few graphical settings that are turned on by default. In the settings menu, go over to the graphics settings and disable film grain, chromatic aberration, and motion blur. Your game will not only look better, but it'll minimize the freezing and ease up on your system's performance. Besides, when did film grain look good in any video game? Honestly. Don't stress about life paths.
You've never backed down from anything in your life, even when you maybe should have.
You'll be given a ton of options for character customization, and one choice you'll have to decide upon is your character's life path. This may seem pretty critical to your experience, but it's not as impactful as one may be led to believe. Life paths play a more minor role, only affecting what your prologue will be and what dialogue trees you'll have access to. In other words, choosing a life path plays more into immersing yourself rather than locking you behind any content. Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but at least you'll get to experience just about everything Cyberpunk has to offer, save for some alternative dialogue.
Gotta get out of here, understand? And I'll kill anyone who gets in my way.
Inventory management. Many RPGs in the past have made inventory a pain in the ass to keep track of, tacking on unrealistic weight and practically punishing you for looting too much. Cyberpunk 2077, on the other hand, is far more generous. You can keep a hearty amount of weapons and armor on your person before becoming over-encumbered, and leveling up certain skills will upgrade your carry capacity. On top of that, you can store even more items in your apartment and the back of your vehicle, regardless if you're driving a car or a motorcycle. Finally reached your limits? Junk only low-grade items and save anything purple or legendary. Those are upgradable, so it'll be quite a while before you can deem them as obsolete. Take the gigs. If you focus too much on the main story, you may notice a lot of your assignments being listed with high danger warnings, indicating that enemies may be too tough for you to fight. The best way to lower this is to start tackling some side missions and gigs. These are much more rewarding than you may think and can greatly hasten your level in street cred. Some may even give you a free vehicle or a powerful weapon to make more gigs easy. That being said, maybe take a break from the main story every now and again, and you may find something to aid you later down the road. Hacking and stealth are your friends. Sure, it's fun going into combat, firing off on all cylinders, and mindlessly beating on foes. Heck, we've done that a handful of times in several other shooter RPGs. However, Cyberpunk 2077 features a unique mechanic where you can hack into enemies and either fry their brain or screw around with their cyberware. Even if you're not focusing all of your skill points into hacking abilities, don't be afraid to scramble their heads. It can give you the upper hand in tough fights. Oh, and make sure you're using cover when possible, as enemies can wield powerful weapons and be pretty accurate with their shots. Use fast travel sparingly. It can be exhausting having to make long trips from one end of the world to the other, so why not spam the fast travel system whenever possible? Well, the way you'll be able to encounter most missions is by simply driving around. You may come across an event happening at the very moment, or get a call from someone asking you for help. Some missions will take some time to spawn after completing a previous one. Trust us, the long distances may be daunting, but it's a good way to fill up your journal with jobs. Consider doing optional objectives. As you progress through the main story and side missions, you may be tasked in doing optional objectives. Many RPGs in the past have typically left optional objectives as extra bits of lore and nothing else. Cyberpunk, on the other hand, will sometimes make your extra time more rewarding. Satisfying these optional tasks may open you up to extra dialogue later in the mission and alter the outcome or reward you with additional eddies and gear. Just shows how a little extra work may get you better earnings. Invest in Cyberware.
You don't have much time left.
During your time with Cyberpunk, you'll collect a wealth of equipment to increase your armor rating and weapons to take down bigger baddies with ease. However, this may not be enough in some circumstances. So how else can you beef up your character? Word of advice: invest in Cyberware. As you meet more Ripper docs, you'll be able to purchase additional cyberware to improve your skills. You may install a mod that decreases the time it takes to hack enemies. Or maybe you'll get a new skeleton that significantly boosts your armor rating. Whatever you can find will prove valuable in the long run. Save and save often.
Would you rather live in peace as Mr. Nobody or go down for all times in a blaze of glory?
These days we've grown accustomed to games autosaving at a fairly reasonable rate. Even though Cyberpunk does utilize an autosave system, it only occurs at a certain rate. Thing is that anything can happen between these autosaves, whether you died after finding a new piece of gear, or got to a certain part in a mission and flatlined at a difficult moment. Your checkpoints can send you way farther back than you would have liked. That being said, make sure you're also doing manual saves to mitigate repeats of the same section, hearing the same dialogue, and etc.
Maybe we'll fit together after all.
Last one, and this is a big one: don't rush it.
He burned down half the city just to prove he was right, and burned the other half just for fun.
Look, we need to be honest with ourselves. Cyberpunk 2077 is a massive game. Even with a campaign shorter than The Witcher 3, there is still a lot to do. As much as we'd like to blast through the main story or clean up side missions as quick as possible, this isn't that kind of game. This is a game meant to be played at a more relaxed pace, allowing you to tackle what you want to do without feeling like you're on a time limit. Get lost, explore Night City, take on missions when you feel like it. Really, if you try to rush this game, you're going to have a bad time. Just relax and have fun.
So what now?
Now, you find out what it is you need to do. A thing of beauty.
If you liked this video, be sure to check out these ones here and subscribe to MojoPlays for more videos every day.